The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture has the mandate to educate and train all for sustainable national development and promote arts and culture. Providing accessible, equitable and inclusive quality education for a tolerant, skilled, productive and competitive nation is the Ministry's mission. Through this 4-part series documentary, we highlight some of the capital projects implemented by the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and its partners.
Now, with this documentary to the Namibian nation, we want to showcase the progress that we made so far, starting only from 2019 up to the current year, which is 2024, where we are. Although we are not really going to cover all the infrastructures, it will give an idea to the Namibian nation what the Ministry of Education has done throughout those years in terms of its infrastructure development. And at this juncture, I really would like to invite all the stakeholders. With this documentary, I hope our stakeholders will be encouraged to come on board, talking about our private sector, our development partners, our friendly nations, for them to come on board and help the Ministry of Education in implementing our accelerated education infrastructure development. This is part 4. Enjoy.
The Okakarara Secondary School was established in 1973 with a population of 626 learners, 24 teachers, 19 institutional workers, and 1 school secretary.
The state of the school was really, the environment was not conducive for learners, plus the teachers as well. The classes were old. They were not safety for our kids and for teachers as well.
Significantly enhancing the school's infrastructure development and providing a more conducive learning environment for learners and better working conditions for teachers.
I'm very grateful to all the contributions which the ministry or the government has brought to our school, because most of the classrooms were in dilapidated states. So they really made the school look beautiful and attractive, and everybody is praising the school for being new, and it also brought an attraction to the community to also want to be part of the school and to be part of the school community. So it is really, for me, it's a great deal. We also have a lot of stuff that they brought forth, like the air conditioning. One can now sit in the office and work up to in the afternoons, whereas in the past, before the renovation, you would be feeling the heat and you wouldn't want to sit after one. You'd definitely want to run home and take a siesta or a nap. But for now, it's really very nice and very beautiful.
Renovation of the Okakarara Secondary School include 1 multi-purpose hall and renovation of 7 blocks of 4 classrooms each, laboratories, new water tower, water tank and pump, and a generator for water supply. The total cost for the renovation and refurbishment was more than 16 million Namibian dollars. Omaheke region. The Epukura Post 3 secondary school, situated in Epukira village of Omowe Dhonyanda Post 3, was constructed in 1932. It started only with 32 learners and 3 teachers. In 1970, the school introduced Standard 6. In 1989, shortly before independence, the school curriculum was upgraded to Standard 7, and in 1998, the school introduced junior secondary grades 8 to 10. In 2019, 30 years later, the school curriculum was upgraded to senior secondary certificate. And in the same year, the learners sat for their first senior secondary external examination, where the school was ranked 3rd in the region. The school was renovated and upgraded. The renovation and upgrade include the construction of 2 new hostel blocks, one for girls and one for boys, a kitchen and dining hall, 2 two-bedroom bachelor flats, 1 matron house, a new water tank, a pump, and an elevated water tower. Today, the school has more than 1,000 learners, 45% of which are girls, 40 teachers, and 25 support staff.
When I started in 2017, the condition of the hostel was really bad. The hostel was totally dilapidated. Even the school were not having any fence. So a lot of improvement was brought to this institution from the time I have started up to now.
"50 kilometers east of Gobabis along the Trans-Kalahari Highway in the Omaheke region, established in 1934 under the name Laerskoolvereniging, but changed the name in 1959 to Ernst Meyer Primary School. The school started with 30 learners and 3 teachers. After independence, the school was fully integrated to reflect all the ethnic and racial composition of the Namibian population.
Rightly said, because of the hard-working colleagues, we did not really have a problem if it comes to our academy. Academic part of the school was just good until date. But the one problem that we had was our old building, the hostel that we had previously. That building was old and not really safe for people to stay in, either learners or institutional workers. So that building, rightly said, was supposed to be demolished back then. Renovating the building was not an option as it is quite damaged. It was going to cost the government more money than just building a new one.
So when I started my school here, we used to stay in the old hostel. While by back that time, the new hostel was not there. So we used to stay in the old hostel where there was no enough space for us, where we could only stay a few of learners, but then the hostel was too small for us. And at the old hostel, let's go to the bathroom now. There was no hot water, not really hot water, and we used to bath in cold water.
Right, the school has benefited, let me say, for the first time that I could see a building that was built like the one we are having currently, whereby the facilities are up to standard. The rooms, let me go to the blocks. It's up to standard whereby the kids are very comfortable in their rooms. They have everything they need there. They have water, running water, they have electricity, wardrobes where they can pack, whereby in the old hostel, some parents had to buy wardrobes for these kids to pack their clothes and their toiletries. So for the government, it's a good move for them to have built a hostel for us, because now we can accommodate more learners in our hostel, which will also benefit the community, because some of our kids are schooling far from home, and for them coming back here and having such a place to stay will be to the benefit of the parents, as they won't spend money for these kids to travel far for education purposes.
I just want to give like a word of thanking to the government, because really the situation that we were having, it was worse. But comparing to the situation that we are having now, that's really 100% that we cannot even we want even to see maybe the whole head office, the minister, so that we can able to really say that no, we really thank for them to give us this hostel.
I would like to give a thanks to the government for providing us such a building for the hostel, because in that old hostel we had no enough space, but now we have enough space to move around, and we would like to say thank you very much to the government that provided us such a facility. And now we can bath in warm water, no cold water. Maybe if you feel like it's warm, that's when you can go for a cold shower.
Hardap region. Marienthal Secondary School was established in 1960. The school has a population of 736 learners and 31 teachers, 2 administrative officers and 3 institutional workers. The school made an upgrade which includes the construction of 1 block of 3 classrooms, 3 blocks of ablutions, administration block, science and computer laboratories. The total cost of the renovation and refurbishment was valued at more than 12 million Namibian dollars.
The renovations that took place was not for the whole school. So most of the buildings are still depleting, deteriorating, and if you can move around, you will see that most of the doors are broken. So yeah, I think if the whole school was renovated, then maybe if they can do that, yes, because a lot of classes, if you move around, you'll see that they're not quite conducive for any teaching and learning, except for those ones that were renovated.
But in terms of the community, people are grateful for what they have done. But to a certain extent, according to me, they should have been doing more in terms of the renovations, especially when it comes to the hall, because they had just been doing some minor renovations. I want to say thanks to the guys who came, the contractors who were contracted here to do the renovations, but I think they should have been doing more, especially coming to the hall, because the hall somehow, it's certain parts are dilapidated.
There was a woodwork class, so it was completely renovated or changed into a mini hall, whereby we can use it now for examinations, because we used to struggle with venues for examinations, especially for the national examinations where the grade 11s are writing. So we can utilize it now positively for an examination venue.
Yeah, to the government, although we know COVID-19 has got a huge impact, especially economic-wise, we are thankful for what the government is doing, not just what they did, not just at Marienthal High School, but throughout the country. And concerning the community, if they want to come, we have an open door policy. The doors are always open, and we'll engage them as far as it's possible from the school side.
Claras region. The Valgras Primary School in Claras region also received a major renovation and upgrade. The project entails the construction of hostel facilities to accommodate about 256 learners with a kitchen and dining hall. Furthermore, the project included the construction of 9 classrooms, a science laboratory, a library, staff accommodation, a principal's house, and the upgrading of the electricity at the school. The project was completed at the cost of about 117 million Namibian dollars.
I really thank our ministry for this blessing. Having such a huge school is quite a big blessing. And the thing is, if we don't take care of it, then it will be a waste of a lot of money and a lot of resources, because it is a well-resourced school. If you go into the kitchen, you will find that there are machines that are cutting bread, there are meat sauce. It's a lot of luxury equipment that are in those kitchens. So we are the ones that are responsible for taking care of these things. So if we don't take care of it, we will waste a lot of money of the government. And that is why I'm encouraging each and everyone, especially the community of Valgras, to help us to take care of this marvelous buildings that we have.
At the old school, we did not have everything that was here, like the science labs, the library, the computer labs. And for the library, the children are getting more of their attention on the books, and they'll know how to read more.
Just about 215 kilometers outside of Geetmanshoop is Ernst Jager Combined School. This school was established in 1965 with 3 teachers and 144 learners in Karasburg, Karas region. Since the school's establishment, the number of learners and teachers significantly grew. The following school facilities were renovated and upgraded: 2 hostel blocks, 1 for girls and 1 for boys, construction of new water tower including the installation of water storage tanks. The renovation and upgrading of these facilities have brought the operations of the hostel and the school to the required standard.
The 20th of November 2019, that the girls' block was devastated by a fire. And then on the 16th of March 2020, the boys' block was devastated by a fire. And so it was a real inconvenience to all of us, because now we had to find place for these boys and girls to stay. And luckily for us, our neighboring schools were very accommodated, and they accommodated our learners there. But in the meantime, we also had the temporary structures that was set up by Ministry of Education. And after they were finished in 2021, the girls and boys moved back to the hostels. So yeah, that is the time that we were there to look after them as well.
The numbers, we did not expect the numbers to drop like that. We did not get that 300 learners that we were supposed to have in the hostel. But yes, the kids were excited. The comfortability that they are having now in these hostels, they know it's home from home. It's home from home. Warm water. They are getting their meals every day. There is even study time for them. There is a study room even in the blocks. So even if they come in the study room for study during the afternoons, if they go back and they feel, oh, but I did not study enough, they can even go back to the study room and go study further. They can, as we said, you get up 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the time that we usually study. They go into the study room and there they study. So this cause the performance rates of our learners to increase rapidly.
Currently, the school has enrolled more than 700 learners with 32 teachers. Ernst Jager School has the largest intake of primary hostel boarders in the circuit.
As you can see, that building behind there, it burned down. I'm talking about now the boys, our block, in 2020, the 16th in March. So, bent down, and as you can see now, it's again on point, it's renovated.
The difference is that we respect each other this year because of this new hostel. We feel like we are in a hotel, because if you went in that hostel, you will feel that fresh air.
To the Ministry of Education, we are very, very happy for what you did. We are very much happy because we see now we as learners, as community members, as people of the South, we know that you guys are prioritizing us. You are prioritizing our learners. You are prioritizing our kids, and that education remains priority when it comes to you guys. So thanks a lot.
The total value of this renovation and refurbishment was to the tune of 20 million Namibian dollars. Lordsville Secondary School was established in 1983. The school has more than 500 learners and 21 teachers. School facilities were renovated and upgraded. 4 hostel blocks, 2 for boys and 2 for girls. 2 kitchens and dining halls, 1 for boys and 1 for girls. A new generator for power supply, installation of a water tower and tank, and an upgrade of the sewer line. This renovation and upgrade was to the tune of more than 21 million Namibian dollars.
The government, the ministry is really doing the effort, but more should be done. More should be done in order, because especially in the south, when it comes to the south, it maybe because of the fact that the population is sparse, some resources do not reach us. And sometimes the learners are really affected by that. Yeah, but I can see that there was effort done, and we are really grateful for our school to have been selected as part of this project. We really it affects the school, it affects the community, and it also affects our regions, and we are also grateful for that, because Lordswell has been one of the schools that has been producing good results. We've always been in the top 5, and we'll continue to try and do that.
Commerce Region. The construction of a primary school at Mixed Settlement in Windhoek was with a contract value of about 56 million Namibian dollars. The project scope includes 10 building blocks, constituting blocks for administration, classrooms, arts and music, library, sports hall and feeding, pre-primary, a caretaker house, and sports fields.
Currently, we have 2 pre-primary classes and 2 grade 1 classes. The school is aiming to go up till grade 7, so that is the extension that they are busy with. The aim of, or the completion, should be done early in 2025, where the whole school will now be from grade 1 up to 7, the whole blocks and all facilities built.
So about government not doing enough, I'm not quite sure, but according to my knowledge, I can see the government's really helping the community and the people in Namibia in large.
I think government have heard the cries of the community, and therefore the school is currently standing here where it is, and the development is still continuing. So it's easy to look at what the government is not doing, and then you forget about what the government is actually doing. So I think the community is grateful that the school is finally established, and although we are crying for electricity, we're just grateful also to have jobs at the end of the day. So I think this is just the first stage. This is a completely new school. Government are thinking far ahead. They are planning on building a high school here also, meaning that these learners, once they are done with grade 7, they won't have to cross the highway again to search for a high school. They will be accommodated here as well.
In June 2019, construction of a senior secondary school in Havana Settlement on the outskirts of Windhoek commenced. The project entails the construction of a fully fledged secondary school. This school accommodates more than 800 learners with state-of-the-art facilities in the midst of informal settlers.
We are at Havana High School, located in Havana, deep in the location of Havana. Just by the end of the location itself, that's where we are. The school started its operation in 2015, and then I've been with the school since 2016. But we only moved here, I think 3-4 years back, even though we're operating in tents, but the structure only, the construction only came to an end. Even now they are still busy with the construction, or it only came to an end, let me say end of last year. So now they are still busy with the final touches.
Before we went in the new facility, we were in tents, which it was a bad condition, because when there is wind, we would be told to go home. The situation, it was bad, because sometimes when it's rain, we have to move the tents to move at a new place where it's more stable, because we cannot stay in that place. And when there is wind, we could be told to go home.
What I think, or my personal view, is that sometimes when we say the government is not doing enough, we just look into a smaller space of where we are, but we don't look on a broader space on what else is happening in other places. Because if you follow the news, you will be able to equip yourself with what is happening around the country. And building this school is not the only project that the government is doing, because our economy is not doing that very well. But I believe that the government is trying their best to do what they can in the means of what they have. So like building as this school in an informal settlement, it's a large investment, especially looking at the quality of the structures, because they could have invested this money in building low quality schools, which could be 4 schools, but then they made time and they also invested in order to give us quality structures. So I think the government so far is trying. And trying is where we start, and I think trying is also enough, because we cannot do it all in one day. We may say the government what, but sometimes we even struggle on our own to do something on, let's say, in a specified time. They built us this school in about 2.5 years, which could have taken other entities more than that. So I think the government so far is doing what they can, and we should also appreciate the government so that they can do more for us.
Well, they must come and see. I would say the government really tried their best here. So our duty now is to make sure we protect these facilities so that it can really last longer. Not that our learners are breaking the tables, writing on the walls and whatever. We must really discourage them from that, or breaking the windows. We must really discourage them from that. And then the government, what they do is to bring services closer to the people. So if we keep on breaking, it means we do not appreciate what our government is doing. So please, let's talk to the community, talk to the learners to stay away from doing that. Or even our own, we are living with our own brothers and sisters, or if we have break-ins, those people, we are harboring them. So please, let's discourage them from doing that.
In 1866, Augustinium was established by a German missionary, Karl Hugo Hahn of the Rhenish Mission, as a seminary and teacher training college in Oshimbingwe. The initial aim for the college was to train priests. Hence, it acquired its Herero name of Onguviki, meaning school. In 1911, it was moved to Okahanya, and the school moved to its present site in Kommersdal, Windhoek, in 1968. Augustinium Secondary School is a multiracial and multicultural institution. Today, the school offers grades 8 to 12 with a learner population of more than 1,000 and over 40 teachers. The school constructed its hostel blocks, kitchen and dining hall, and erected a new water tower, water tank and pump, backup power generator, as well as a new modern school boundary wall. The total cost for the renovation and refurbishment was more than 28 million Namibian dollars.
By the time before, we managed to stop the hostel from functioning. And then from there, we say the hostel should not be able to function because it is in a very dilapidated way. And we cannot accommodate children in the hostel where the toilets are not functioning, the shower are not functioning. So we stopped the hostel and we said until we find a donor that can be able to help us so that we can be able to renovate the school, the hostel.
This message does not just go to the kids that are residing in the hostel, also community members, because we have a challenge of community members who are coming to the hostel during weekends, during out weekends, holidays, devastating our hostel or vandalizing our property. I would say this is our own property, and the fact that it's renovated, it means it needs to be kept in a very good shape. And it's for all of us as community members, as parents, as learners at the school, as teachers at the school, to make sure that that stays like that at least for the next 30 or 15 years to come. I believe me, what we have inside there, that is quality, and that quality needs to be maintained by all of us to say.
Concordia High School was established in 1983 with an initial capacity of 500 learners. Now the number of learners has doubled. The school was privately owned by Consolidated Diamond Mines, CDM, now known as NAMDEP, the Namibian subsidiary of De Beer. The school was expected to provide education for children judged highly intelligent, with the aim of providing a pool of youth to be educated as teachers and much needed human resources for the country. As a prerequisite for admission, the learners were required to undergo an IQ test. After independence, the school was donated to the government, and the requirement of an IQ test as a prerequisite for admission was abolished in 1993. Currently, the school accommodates all learners regardless of their IQ level and social background. It has a population of more than 1,000 learners and 38 teachers, offering grades 8 to 12. Renovation includes 2 hostel blocks, 3 laboratories, alterations to the kitchen and new kitchen equipment, elevation of water tower and tank, a new generator, as well as interlocked parking and walkways. The total cost for the renovation and refurbishment was approximately 25 million Namibian dollars.
So far it has brought a newfound vigor and pride, because these kids now can go there. There's safety, there's a certain feeling of belonging, because now you can go there, everything is functional, they are safe, it's hygienic. Even when you tell them to maintain and keep the place clean, they can keep it because there's styling, there's windows that are working, and so on. So there's this sense of saying, I belong here and I can be there. So even when it comes to us supervisors, when you are trying to maintain and work with the learners, it made your job so much easier, because you are not only just caring about the hazards and the safety of the learners, but now it's just the upkeep of the institution itself.
And in conclusion, I really want to thank our staff members from the Ministry of Basic Education, Arts and Culture, in collaboration with the staff members of the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology, who worked together so hard in producing this documentary. I also want to thank our staff members at schools for really narrating what has been done at their schools, and which will definitely enrich the documentary to give the actual information as to what was done at their schools and what impact definitely it has made in the lives of both teachers and learners. And in these few words, Namibian nation, view this documentary and be ensured that our ministry, especially with our currently approved implementation plan of the National Conference on Education, we are aggressively addressing the issue of infrastructure shortages in Namibia. I so submit. I thank you.